Okay, I think we are live already. That was quick. I didn't have to fight any kind of connectivity. So, hey, everybody, we are coming to you from Northern Colorado, from XANADU Med Spa, and from my living room. So, this is Michelle Oliver with the Northern Colorado Facebook group for small businesses to prevail and prosper during this crazy time that is full of challenges and opportunities. And I am really excited to talk with Mark today because so Mark and I met, I think like 2 years ago when I first moved to Ft.Collins. And we met because I walked in and I was trying to sell him a birthday campaign to do for his marketing. So that's another story, but Mark is he has, first of all, an amazing business, amazing location. It's a beautiful place. They offer all kinds of services that he'll tell you about. And he's really great at marketing. Like you really have the vision, and what I love about Mark is like he takes action. He just sees opportunity, and this is my perception of you. You can correct me if I'm all just super optimistic. But I'd like to introduce Mark Koespell from XANADU Med Spa. And welcome. I'm so excited to have you in this group. Thank you for taking the time to do this today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Michelle. A pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's fun to talk to you. It's fun to talk to anybody, but it's
in this environment, any kind of communication we can get.
Yeah, I'm joking. I do talk to a lot of people, but it's always a pleasure talking to you. So you're just so professional, and I love what you're doing. So maybe we could start like I'm curious how all of this came about for you. How did XANADU arrive on the scene, and when did this happen?
Okay, well, I'm amazed we haven't actually talked about this, but XANADU is, I think, a great example of sometimes in life you seek things out, and sometimes things seek you out, and XANADU definitely sought me out. So at the time, I was the CEO of a different company. I was doing association management, very different from this world of medical spa. And I ran an association management company. We had 18 different associations that served North America. And my partner at the time was an RN who was very interested in the aesthetic industry and set up shop here at XANADU, renting space from the previous owner. And the previous owner had several life circumstances that kind of collided all at once. And she needed, for her own sake and her own sanity, to move on. And so presented Shannon the opportunity to purchase the spa. And that wasn't really in the cards, except if I became part of the conversation.
Okay.
So I did. And so in the beginning, I really came to XANADU as an investment opportunity, as a business venture, right? And at that point in time, that's how I saw it. And today, 5 years later, so that all happened May 1st, 2015.
Oh
so,
my gosh, you just had an anniversary.
Just had our 5-year anniversary of my ownership. Coincidentally, we reopened our doors on May 1st, 2020.
Oh my
so
goodness.
Quite an irony there, from May 1st, 2015 to May 1st, 2020. But during that time, quite an evolution has occurred, because it is no longer a business venture. This is I gave up my other job. I actually bought Shannon out. That relationship ended, as sometimes they do in life, right? And so I find myself owning and operating a med spa.
Wow.
And truly have really developed a deep love and appreciation for this industry, and maybe even more than that, a passion for what we do and how we do it. So it's a total evolution over the last 5 years, but I think it's a great story that showcases sometimes things happen in life for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And you follow it. And sometimes you make those things happen, and sometimes those things just kind of happen for you.
Yeah. I love that story. It is a great story, and thank you for sharing that. So tell us then what you do and how you do it, since that word's out of your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. So just to clarify, do you mean like me personally or what the spa does?
Well, both, because initially, I guess, share a little bit about the spa. So I work with a number of different spas around the country. And when I started kind of focusing on that niche, I had no idea how much I didn't know about the industry. I mean, I knew nothing, had never done anything like for myself, never. And as I've gotten to know these owners and learned what they do and the impact, just there's so much. I love, love, love working with them. But everyone is completely different. When somebody says, I own a med spa, it can mean something entirely different than the one, a couple miles away. So maybe start there and share a little bit about the overview, what you do as a business, how you do it. And then I'd love to talk more personally too.
Okay, great. So yes, you're exactly correct. Spa can mean so many things. In some places, a spa is a steam room, right? At a gym, and they call it a spa. That is not what we do. We do not have steam rooms, and we do not have hot tubs. But that word gets confused a lot. So let's break it down. There's med spa and there's day spa. And the med spa is, at the foundation, we've got Botox and fillers and laser facial treatments. We do laser hair removal. We do vaginal rejuvenation. We do CO2 facials. We do hormone replacement therapy. We do cool sculpting for body sculpting. We're just onboarding Cool Tone. We're very excited about that. So imagine 40,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes.
God,
and that's
today
what Cool
was
Tone,
app day for me.
right?
I can't believe you're saying that. I was like, there has to be a better way. This is so horrible. Sorry.
It's pretty cool. You got to Google it. So we're very excited to bring Cool Tone on.
Oh my God.
So we've got our body sculpting and all of those things that fall under the med spa umbrella. What makes us unique in this environment here in Northern Colorado is we're also a day spa. So our name is XANADU Med Spa. We've got a full day spa component as well. So we've got massage and facials and hydrofacials and body wraps and waxing, even lash and brow tinting. And so you can do all of that under one roof.
Wow.
So when
That's
you say
very rare.
a spa day, you can literally do a full spa day.
That, at least based on my own experience, I work with mostly med spas, and that is very rare. Like, I don't know anybody else that does that. Usually people will specialize in one area. Like I know someone that cool sculpting is their big thing, right? They're wonderful, wonderful people. I love them, but that's their main thing. And then lip injections and stuff. They do have a number of other services, but not, the day spa doesn't really fit into that. And usually the day spas are totally separate. They don't offer any medical treatments at all, or it might be just like a little skincare place and all they do is just like facials and special products and stuff. So the fact that you're kind of like a one-stop shop, I mean, everything you need could be done there. Yeah, that's amazing.
And it makes so much sense because you think, let's even just look at facials, right?
Yes.
So you go in for a facial regimen, but a lot of times you kind of need this progressive treatment pattern.
Yeah.
And so instead of graduating up and out of what we do, we just take you along that journey. And so we're here for the whole ride.
I see.
And so it works really well.
I like the idea of the relationship that you could build that way, and that kind of safety and trust and education, because I didn't even know how much help I needed like, until you talk to someone, and there's really is a trust issue there. Like, it's a very personal thing, and you want, I mean, obviously with the wide range of what you offer, having that relationship established, I'm sure is very important.
Yeah, it's paramount.
Mm-hmm. So do I remember that you offered like packages, or do you still have like a membership kind of situation?
Yeah, we do. We have two. And so we have one that really services the day spa component. And so the foundation of it are facials and massages. And so your membership, you can get 1, 2, 3, or 4 services a month. So for those people that want a massage every week, you know, we've got a package that big, or a lot of people just want one massage a month. That's foundation. There's upgrades in it, but it really all caters to the day spa. And then we've got a Botox membership as well. And that Botox membership gives you also access to fillers and laser facials at discounted prices. But that one really lives on the med spa side. And so we have people that have both memberships.
Yes.
And then, you know, a lot of people have one or the other. So it works, you know, depending what people come in these doors wanting and needing, we try to match that.
Yeah, what their goals are, where they are, what they've done. Yeah. So how do most of your clients come from one side or the other, do you find? Like, are you, like in your marketing, I think of you as a med spa, and I kind of forget about the day spa part. But how do you, like, where are most of your new people coming from?
Yeah, that's a great question. I also really focus on the med spa, and that's not discounting the day spa in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But truthfully, the med spa takes a lot more attention.
Yes.
The day spa is easier to manage and easier to bring people in. And so if we were to look at pure numbers and volume of clients, they come in on the day spa side for real. And then what we hope is that they, like I said, follow that journey, and we're able to introduce them to the med spa components. But if you look at what keeps our doors open and pays my staff, it's the med spa. And the day spa, I wouldn't call it a loss leader, but it's almost a break-even leader to help the med spa exist.
Yeah, well, it's a great foot in the door. It's a way for people to get to know you. It's safe, inexpensive. And I would think that as an appeal to the group, that is a great gift certificate for people, right? You can give a massage. I mean, who doesn't want a massage or a facial or what else is part of your day spa?
Yeah, massage, facials, hydrofacials, body wraps, waxing. Yeah, and you can imagine Mother's Day just ended. We actually do better with Mother's Day gift certificates than we do Christmas.
Of course, we should. Yeah, I get it. Because there are so few ways to please your mother, you know, and that's one everybody knows.
That's one way that you can be assured you win.
So keep that in mind, everyone, for Christmas too. Every holiday. It doesn't.
Every holiday.
It doesn't
4th of July, Memorial Day. It all works.
Saturday. What day is today? Right. Yeah, Tuesday. Because without us, you guys, I don't know how you get along. So what was I going to ask you then? Okay, so can you give us a little bit of an idea of, like, medical spa means you have a doctor or 2 or 3. So how does that work? How do you have a person on staff, or how does that work?
So Dr. Eric Olson is our medical director. So he's my counterpart. I really focus on business operations, staffing, staff management, ordering, and marketing. I do all the marketing. He is in charge of the clinical side of the shop. So Dr. Eric Olson manages that. And then we've got a couple of nurses, a nurse practitioner, all that work within the medical side. And then on the day spa side, we have both massage therapists and estheticians.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, we have 12 people on staff.
12?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're managing quite a lot. That's remarkable. I know that I see that you're doing so much, because the different organizations and businesses that I work with, often they will spread themselves too thin, to be honest. And there's a happy balance, right? Like in any business, between keeping your staff busy and making sure someone's there, balancing the staff and the customers. I mean, that's kind of everybody's issue, right?
It is. It's an ongoing game.
Yeah. So is there like one medical spa service or treatment that you kind of highlight, that's like you're known for, or that's like a main draw? Like cool sculpting was a really big thing for a long time. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah, I think it's still a big thing, and we try to put, a spotlight on that. If you drive past the front of our spa right now, there's a big blue flag outside highlighting cool sculpting.
Okay.
So absolutely, we try to promote that and push it. But if I'm just to look at numbers, truly it's Botox and fillers that, bring most people in the door to start the conversation of what their aesthetic journey looks like.
Yeah. Okay, so is that like let's talk about your marketing a little bit, and because you're good at it. Like from my perspective, you seem to see the big picture, and let's just hear your approach. Like how have you, I have so many questions for you. So generally speaking, what's your overall approach to marketing?
That's a big question, Michelle.
Do everything all the time.
It's a big question. Yeah. So I love marketing. Marketing's my passion. I spend a lot of time and energy thinking about it. And I think sometimes that means I do too much. And so my challenge in life is keeping it contained a little bit, under control. Yeah. Because all the time I hear a marketing idea, and if it sounds like a good one, I sit there and go, okay, so how many new clients would have to walk in my door to pay for this marketing, opportunity? And guess what? It doesn't work that way very often, and a lot of times it's hard to actually measure where people are coming in from. And when you ask, they just say, oh, I Googled you. And so, sometimes it's hard. But I try to do a good mix of brand recognition. So just trying to establish XANADU in the Northern Colorado vicinity as a trusted brand. And so when people say the name, people at least go, oh, I've heard of them. And they might not know why or where, but they at least know they've heard of us, right? So try to put a focus there, and then really get into specific things that we're marketing out. And so there's two primary audiences. One are those people who have never set foot in our doors, and what can attract their attention to actually come visit us for the first time. And then there's the marketing to all of our internal clients. So I've got an internal list of about 7,000 people, and that marketing strategy is very different than those who have never set foot in our doors. And I try to bring the two together in this magical place to to make that happen and keep people coming in, to try new things and to explore what opportunities exist.
Yeah, really, those are really solid strategic methods. It makes a lot of sense. And to be honest with you, like you, I know that you're saying that you can't always say like, how many do I need to cover this cost? But at the same time, especially during times like this, I mean, you have to try things. You have to think outside of the box and you have to be creative. And the only way to know if something's going to work is to do it. So
Right.
I see a lot of people like really afraid, and I'm trying to tell them this is not the time to contract. It is the time to expand, because it I don't even like to call it marketing, because people have such a bad connotation with that word, or that word has bad connotations. But I like to think of it as communicating. How are you getting, like you said, how do I tell people who I am? How do I explain who I am and tell people about it in a way that makes them want to know me more? So what do you mostly want us to know about you? Like when we think of XANADU, what do you want to come to our mind?
Yeah. I think first and foremost, I want people to see us as a trusted entity. You said it before, it's a very personal service that we provide. And it doesn't matter if it's body sculpting or Botox or facials, there's some vulnerability there. And
yes, for sure.
The other thing is there are a lot of flakes out there too. And they give our industry a bad name. And so I've got the most fantastic team. They're just phenomenal. And again, that's been an evolution, but where we've landed, it just all comes together. And they've got so much talent. And I think that's first and foremost what we want people to know, is that they can trust us with their skin, with their faces, with their bodies. And that's a big deal, That's a really big deal. Then after that, it's okay, so we can do this and we can do this and we can do this and we can do this, right?
Yeah.
But really that's secondary to that conversation of, this is a reputable business that does good work and they stand behind their clients, and really have their clients as the ultimate vision for what and how we want to achieve.
I really like that. Yeah, because then the relationship just builds off of that. Yes, there definitely are a lot of flakes out there. So one of the amazing things about your anniversary is that 5 years, like congratulations to you. I mean, make it, there's that 3-year milestone, right? Where you're like, phew, I'm like alive, I didn't crash before that. So many people do, but carrying on for 5 years, I took note of what you said about like the evolution, because I've experienced that in a number of businesses for sure. Like you have that initial explosion and there's so much energy, everything's great. And then things start, you're like, wait a minute, these pieces aren't working. But by the time you hit 5 years, you've got a solid team and you have systems and your clients and customers and where you're going and how you got where you are. And so what a great place to be in, especially right now when all of a sudden this crazy thing is just thrown in your face that no one could predict. So that is really encouraging, really awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it feels good to be here and so surreal at the same time, because of what we've been through. I don't care how established you are. This has been a hard couple of months.
Yeah. So tell us about how have you dealt with this? Like, how did it affect you? And how did you handle that? And what are you thinking moving forward?
Yeah. I think from day one, my focus was simply on trying to, well, first develop a strategy, right? And then from that strategy, I truly tried to focus on what is it I can actually do, what's in my control, because there's so much that is absolutely not my control. And I could lose a lot of energy worrying about what's not in my control. And I think it's good to understand it, but not to let it run your life, right? And so from day one, when the quarantine began and I had to shut down the spa and I had to furlough all my staff, I literally came to work every morning. I got up, I took a shower, I got ready, I came in just like I always did. I stayed on my same schedule, and for me, that worked. And everybody's got their own approach, but I needed to stay on my schedule. And I came in every single day to focus on strategy development. And at first that was what I called stopping the bleeding. So, all this cash outlay. So how can I, try to put a stop to loans and talk to vendors and negotiate, payment terms, and the number of people I had to make phone calls to and write emails to was staggering, and trying to get them to call you back and so on. So stop the bleeding first. And then second was, okay, so how can I start trying to figure out creative ways to bring some revenue in? And so some of that was coming up with some things that we could do in the interim. And some of that was, I was able to get the SBA PPP loan and that first round of funding.
Yeah, that's right. You were like the first one in the universe that got it.
Well, I wasn't the first in the universe, but I did focus on, okay, what do I think they're going to ask for? What do I think they're going to need? And I created this folder that was so much bigger than what they even needed, but I had it all ready to go. So on the day it opened, I put my application out with 4 different banks, and then I picked the one that came through first for me.
That is a perfect example of the old preparedness meets opportunity. Good for you. You were the first one in my universe that I was aware of that got it. And then another woman, actually one of my med spa clients who's like you, who never thought about anything except, okay, pivot and, do what I can do. That is so smart. I love that. So go on. But
so, from there, it's been just trying to identify other funding opportunities. And I don't think that's going to end anytime soon. Unfortunately, the reality is that you build a business up and to some degree, you build up your tolerance for what you can spend.
Yeah.
And, that old saying, you spend money to make money. And so I built up a pretty hefty, gulpable monthly expense that was being supported by our revenue. But the minute that revenue disappears, now I'm in a little bit of trouble, right?
Yes.
And so I have to continue to look at both sides of that coin of reducing expenses, creatively trying to find new ways for revenue. And I don't think that is going to end for months.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's scary, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Scary thing is the idea of, it's not like, oh, it's over, happy, we're back on the happy trail. There's so many unknowns, and there's already an element of fear and concern being, I shouldn't say, but it feels like being fed to us, or warning about what may come in October. So we already have this and the thing about that is that when you're trying to run a business, and we're talking about trust, right? And you're trying to say, everybody, you can trust us. Now that means so much more. It means we are going through all of these excessive protocols to ensure not only the safety of our own staff, but to ensure your safety. We want you to feel like you can walk in the door, still take care of your body and mind and everything in the way that you were, and you're not at risk for whatever's happening out there. And that is a message that is easier to get to some people than it is to others. So you've got, like, everybody has this new hurdle, you know, how do I
Yeah.
communicate that to all these people that are, I mean, we were talking about this earlier. People are all over the board. Some are terrified, some are ignoring everything, some are, you know, I mean, everything in between.
Yeah, exactly. And so we've got clients that are not ready to come out yet,
Mm-hmm.
and they may not be for a little bit. We have clients who have lost their jobs and they
Yeah.
don't have the disposable income to come in. And then we also have, you know, we've had to put a 30-minute buffer between every appointment. And
Yeah.
so it's amazing how much that reduces our capacity. And when
Yeah.
you reduce your capacity, you're reducing your earning.
Yeah.
And at the same time, your expenses stay here, but you're
Right.
reducing your earning as you go, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't work.
No.
So that math falls out of whack really quickly. So
what are the restrictions for you? Like, can you still have like a day spa party where you have groups of people come in, or two at a time, or are you allowed to do that, or does it have to be one person? Like, how can you fix that? Because that is not sustainable. I don't know.
yeah, well, that's the problem. It's not sustainable. It's not for the short term, we're making it happen. For the long term, it's not. And so that's what we're going to have to figure out. No, we can't have day spa parties. The closest that we have is we have couples massages. And so people come in with their significant couple partner, you know, sometimes it's a sister, sometimes it's a boyfriend, whatever. But that's the closest. But we even, you know, sometimes people bring their kids when they come to get Botox, and we're not even letting the kids in the building. So they have to have a babysitter to get their Botox. And if they show up with their kids, we unfortunately have to turn them away because we can't have more than 10 people in the building at one time. So, you know,
oh my gosh, the things you don't think of. That's
right.
a big issue for women. Like,
it's a big issue. It's really big.
So all you can do is like meet. I mean, it becomes so involved. Okay, you meet your friend, she takes care of your kids, you go in, and then she goes in, but you can't do that because you have to wait for 30 minutes. I mean, there's no easy solution. Really amazing. You just don't think of all that, the ways this is affecting. Every business has those things, right?
Yes.
So unless you're on the inside, you just don't know about it. Okay, so what about products? Do you have the capability? Are you selling products? Are you selling online now? I know a lot of my people, like they've set up so they can sell online. How are you promoting that? That's e-commerce. That's a totally different world. I mean, you can market to your existing clients, but so.
Yep. And we previously had a store. So we have a storefront on our website. It existed. So people can order and things get shipped, you know, directly to their home. And that's actually run by a third-party supplier. And so we don't even have to, you know, worry about shipping. We didn't suddenly have to become a distribution and shipping center, thank God. So that's there. For our regular clients, we do have curbside pickup. So if they just want to call in, place an order, give the credit card, you know, we'll arrange a time and we'll run the product out to their car for them. But our product sales primarily always have been attached to services. So you come in for a facial, and it's very much connected to what is it that you need at this point in time. And so most of our product sales that aren't completely, you know, in alignment with the service are people that are getting refills that have run out of what they had. So that's kind of what we're stuck with at this point in time.
Yeah, a lot of challenges. Well, you guys have been amazing at going forward. Back to this mindset thing for a minute. I think that one of the biggest overarching challenges for people has been the lack of structure, right? And the what should I do? So I love what you did because I resonate with that. Like I just kept going. And I remember when we first talked, I said, how did you handle this? And you were like, I just never stopped working. So when you show up, and it's kind of like you're training your mind to expect, you know, what you expect from it. And what you, it's like working out. Like, this is what I expect you to do every day. And so there's no doubting, because once you get, and honestly, I did really well for a while. And then I hit this place where I got confused. I was like, wait a minute, is this the best use of my time? You know, you start thinking, you really have to pivot and look at which way should I go, and what should I be spending these hours doing? And what's the best ROI here, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and there's nothing coming in. So you're like, whoa. But good for you for just, because once you stop, it's like relaunching a rocket, you know, at least you still have that discipline, and you're used to your brain is used to focusing on like, where am I going, instead of what isn't happening. And I think, I feel like so many people really just went halt, and then they were like, what's not working, what's not happening. And when your mind starts thinking in that direction, man, it's hard to turn that boat around. So
Yeah, you
I
kind of get
really
stuck
admire
there.
you for that. I respect you a lot.
Had I allowed myself the space to take, quote unquote, a day off
Yeah.
and sit at home in quarantine, it would not have worked for me, you know,
Yeah.
because suddenly I would have been giving myself a couple days off a week, or the
Yes.
afternoon off, or I don't know. I needed to just keep going and stay on my path. And
Yeah.
that's what I needed.
Yes, and I agree with you that different people need different things, but I really admire that, and I agree with it. So everybody has their own way for sure. Yeah, and everyone's circumstances are different. And honestly, like, I'm not being, if you have somebody that was sick or dying or something, of course, you know, it's a whole different story. But I'm just thinking in terms of business and staying in business so that we can thrive. And so to the group, I do have to say this because it won't leave my mind, but I knew this company they had a San Francisco and San Diego and Sacramento, like 3 or 4, maybe more. They were one of these IV companies. Mm-hmm. Like, you go in and you have, like, if you are lucky enough to have a hangover or something, then you get drips, or for
it's called the Myers drip. We do those too.
Oh, you do those too? Yeah, okay, do. Cool. I love that. I love that idea. So I was just thinking, maybe you have like a van that does house calls, and you can do like, because that's what they did. They were like a mobile thing. You could do that. You could do Botox. You could do, I don't know what you could do. Can you do that? Or do you
so you could, but all of a sudden, you know, right here, we maintain a sanitary environment in our spa, right? The minute you start going to other people's homes, you cannot control what that looks like. And so suddenly I then have to be concerned about my staff and what danger am I putting them into by sending them into an uncontrolled environment.
Yeah.
And so you can talk about doing it out of a van, but then you have the overhead expense of a van. And I
know. I'm just like thinking.
But you're right. There are mobile companies that do mobile Botox and mobile.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. So, but truly, we do IV vitamin therapy as well. And right now, that's huge for immunity and, you know, maintaining your immunity. And we're running a big special right now. So there's my commercial. There's my commercial.
Yeah. How much? So tell us about your special, because that is very relevant. And it's really, I mean, honestly, building your immune system, like, what single thing could you do that's more important than that? Building your immune system for whatever has happened, is happening, or will happen. that is huge. So tell us just, I know we're kind of going over, but, and I promised I keep these short, but I'm very interested. So what's in it and how much does it cost? What's the special? So everyone in the group can come.
Yeah. So when you take vitamins orally, less than 20%, and some would say less than 15% of the beneficial components of that vitamin actually are absorbed by your body. When you do it via IV, it's somewhere around 93 to 95% you actually are able to take advantage of. So it's a huge difference.
Huge.
Huge.
Wow.
And so a Myers drip consists of, and I have to do this off the top of my head. So it's got your vitamin B6, B12, zinc, C, glutathione. It's got vitamin D, and I think I'm missing something, but it's a full cocktail of vitamins really intended to help your body either fight or boost, right? Yeah. And sometimes both. And so you talk about a hangover, probably the best thing about
I've never had one, so I don't
never had one. Okay. I
was joking. Like
but
means you go out.
But it's the hydration that you get from the IV bag. So it's that saline drip, right? Okay. And so that's the true benefit, even more than the vitamins at that point in time. And so we've got the Myers both as a push, basically a great big syringe that you get it in 10 minutes and you're done, or you can get it in a drip so you get the benefit of the hydration that comes with it.
I see. Well, that is, all of those vitamins are definitely, I mean, obviously they're designed to boost your immune system.
Correct.
So everything in there is what everybody needs right now.
Yeah.
Plus the relaxation of just letting down for a few minutes and sitting there, taking care of yourself, which is what I think every service that you have. Honestly, the stress it relieves to go have someone help you, and stress is the biggest thing that knocks out your immune system, right? So not only are you helping with that, but these services that they say are not essential are not taking into account how stressed everybody is. And I know that what you offer is largely disposable income, but I say, what better thing can you invest in than yourself and your health? And part of that is your stress relief. So I encourage everybody for sure to come at least do that and check out the day spa. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. None of us do. But I think we really need to support all the small businesses here in Northern Colorado and take care of ourselves. So you offer a lot of options for that. What can we best do to support you? So you've got this special. Do you want to tell us how much it is so people can be like?
Yeah. So a push is $69. It's normally $99. And we're doing the IV drip for $99, and it's normally $139.
How often would I come do something like? Do you know how much money I spend on vitamins? Okay, so look at how much. I'm not even going to tell you, but now I'm depressed because that's like 15% of everything I just spent is like, add that up financially.
Right.
You're throwing away that much. That's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah. And I think a lot of people just, it comes down to, they don't know about that. It's not something they've been educated about.
So some people come once a week, once a month, depending on how you're feeling?
Yeah, probably, definitely. If you really want to do it, great. You come once a week, but we recommend, at least every 2 weeks.
Okay. And it takes like half an hour or something?
For the push, it takes about 20 minutes. And for a drip, it takes almost an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. And I think the hydration is a huge piece of being healthy. And we don't realize how dehydrated we are, especially in Colorado. So that's a really good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, I have so enjoyed talking with you. I could talk with you all day. Do you have anything else you want to share with this group? Like what you're asked? Do you have an ask or
And
um,
ask.
an
Well, my ask is if you haven't tried it, challenge yourself to try something new. I think you might be surprised how much you might enjoy it. And when I say it, I mean anything that we do here, right? So I think a lot of times people are scared to try Botox for the first time. Quick story, we do laser hair removal, and we had a woman that had literally so much facial hair she had to shave every day. And she started getting laser hair removal, and she told me it changed her life. So suddenly, that one
Absolutely.
thing, getting rid of that beard, I'll call it for her, gave her confidence. And suddenly she started focusing on losing weight and exercising and eating better and taking it impacted her entire life. And this is coming from her. This is not, my story. This is her story. And she teared up telling me, and it was so powerful, what that one little thing and us being able to provide that confidence for that one little thing, how important that was in her life.
No kidding. And for her to come and make herself vulnerable enough to ask for help,
Right.
I think that's a huge thing. So I appreciate that you're really emphasizing the trust factor, and that you seem to understand that people need to be educated. And there are a lot, like I definitely have fear of Botox. I've never done anything like that. And but there are all these young people that are like, they just do these things,
They do. We have
And
22-year-olds that want Botox, and you look at them and go, oh, honey, you do not,
yeah,
you're fine. You don't need it. You're
I
good.
mean, they're like in their 30s, and I mean these kids in college that are doing all kinds of things, and I'm so actually I'm very intrigued. I think it's really interesting, and it's a different kind of mindset. They don't mind, taking care of themselves in these ways, and they trust, and it's a whole different thing. So you'll have to get on again. Maybe you could just do a series of like, what are you afraid of? You can get in the group and don't be afraid of Botox, or don't be afraid of fractional lasers, or whatever else you guys do.
Right.
And help educate people, because a lot of people don't know. And maybe there are people out there that once they know, they would come in. Like most of the types of people that come in already are used to really taking care of themselves, and unless they have a problem. So, you guys, this is a safe guy. And I think we can trust him if you're afraid of Botox or whatever. But yeah, and what about gift certificates? If someone wanted to buy one to include, like if they have a real estate closing or something and they want to give something, what's your cost range on those?
Yeah, so you can do a gift certificate in any denomination that you want, so $20 on up. And I love that you brought that up. Thank you. You can come in here and get a gift card that looks like your traditional gift card, credit card, or just right from our website, you can buy a gift certificate. It downloads into PDF format. And so you can print that out from home, or you can email it. We've had people in, Ohio purchase gift certificates for people in Ft.Collins and just email them the gift certificate.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
super convenient.
No contact gift certificates.
And no contact. Yep. Total COVID-19 setup right there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe share some of that stuff in the group, because I think people forget. Like, you can share your website and say, hey, we've got gift cards, or, come in and try. I think we have to keep telling everyone what you're doing, so that we remember, because everybody's got their own survival issues and all this stuff that's going on. But I really have enjoyed this, and we went way over, but it was really fun. And I hope that this group brings a lot of value to you.
Thanks so much for having me, Michelle.
I hope I remember
great.
to record this. I did. I did. Okay. The first time. Yes. So you'll have a recording of this and you can use it as you will. And I wish you the very, very best and happy anniversary. Let's go do some business.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
You have a great week.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.